Hi guys, welcome back to Poised in Progress. I'm your host Aria, and here on this podcast we talk about everything that aligns with how to grow your business, and specifically using neuroscience to actually help you grow your business to be successful. If you guys have never seen my face, I currently own an access business that I used all of these tips to help me grow and become successful and full-time in my business. So if that interests you, make sure you guys follow this podcast so that you will not miss out on any of my tips. And let's go ahead and get into this week's episode. I'm so happy to be filming today's podcast because I feel like this is a topic that I've been like looking at and researching for years, trying to figure out how to get the best morning routine, right? Like, I have been searching so long for these answers, and I feel like I'm about a good 75% there because this is kind of newer for me to be doing. I've been doing these things that I'm going to be talking about today since the beginning of January, of 2026. So before I actually go into what I've been doing, I want to tell you guys where I came from, right? Where did Aria come from to actually make it to where we have this good morning routine that actually helps her elevate herself in multiple aspects of my life. So growing up in my home, it was not mandatory for us to like make our beds. Like, my mom would try to enforce it like at the beginning of the school year for like the first like month, and then after that she's like, oh, okay, like get in the car and let's go to school, you know. For the most part, we did the normal things, which is brush our teeth, wash our face, put on do the hygiene part of it all, put on something that looked somewhat decent. Our hair always had to be together. She was very strict on our hair looking together when we were little. And yeah, basically that was really it. And then eat like breakfast, and that was pretty much it. That was really what it was for me from about like up until, I want to say, about 8th grade. Once I hit into high school, that's when I was playing like bigger sports and stuff, and so mornings were taking up from like either like lifting or like just having to get up earlier to prepare my backpack because I knew I was not going to be home until like later that evening and stuff like that. And then transitioning into college was really where I feel like I got really strict, because if you ever played a sport, especially if you played at the collegiate level, you know how your mornings used to be, right? I don't even have to tell you, but you know how those mornings used to be. And during that time, I gained this type of strictness. When I went into my freshman year of college, I don't know why, I was really into watching morning routines. Like, they were my favorite videos to watch on YouTube. Something about them just told me like, okay, you need to do this so that you have this perfect looking body, this perfect looking life. Like, I just felt like morning routines need to give luxury. That's what my thing was. So even though I was in this dorm room and playing and being all sweaty and stuff, I still wanted to make myself feel good. So I still remember back in college, I would make my bed every single morning. I would get dressed every single morning, having my same old breakfast, and I would make it a point to actually walk to class whenever the weather was good. And it was so funny because during that time, like, I remember my friends making fun of me because they were like, why are you getting dressed up at 8 a.m.? Because like I mentioned before, if you did play college sports, like, we had early morning practices or early morning workouts and stuff like that. So even at that young age of like 18, 19, 20, like, I was really strict on myself with making myself look presentable. I would do my hair every single morning. Like, I remember my favorite thing to do that I always did every single morning was go on Pinterest to look up the vibe of what I was giving that day. Okay. And I just remember that's when my grades like really skyrocketed. Like, I wasn't a bad student like back in high school, but like I was more like an A-B student. When I entered into college, I actually turned into an A student. And the transition that I really wasn't paying attention to was the fact that now that I was prioritizing like my morning routine and having this structure, it resulted in me having better grades, right? And I didn't pay attention to that then. I was just like, well, okay, now I don't have to be yelled at by my coach because my grades are good. So once I transitioned and left college, I actually kept that same routine. Every morning I would make my bed, I would go to the gym, and then I would get dressed, and even though I didn't have much to do, right? And that was during the time that I was really coming up with a lot of different things that I should be doing to better my life or figure out what I wanted to do. Because once I left college, I did not know what I wanted to do yet. I did not know I had a passion of being an esthetician. Like, there was nothing like that I for sure knew I wanted to do. Like, I knew I wanted to be like maybe an influencer. Like, I knew I was doing that thing, but like I knew that wasn't where I needed to stay. So it helped me just like start to figure it out. Now I want to get into where the downfall came. The downfall came when I got too comfortable. I also call this my fallout year. Okay, my fallout year was specifically 2023 to 2024, not the full year, but going from year to year, right? So during that time, I was in school. I was also about to start esthetician school, and I was working 3 jobs. And then during the summer, I went down to 2 after I got really sick and had to go to the hospital for a couple weeks, right? And during that time, I picked up being a bartender, right? And so no hate to any of my bartenders. If you want to grow a bartending business, whatever, no hate to you guys. But I'm saying that was a big downfall for myself. The reason being was because now that I was working really late into the night, it was harder for me to get up and get active during the day. So when I became a bartender, I remembered I stopped doing majority of stuff I was doing. Up until I had gotten sick, I still worked out at least 5 to 6 times a week. I was very active. And even though I wasn't the best of keeping track of like what my food was, I still knew I had to move my body. But after I had gotten sick and I was getting back into bartending and I was trying to move out of my mom's house and making money, all this type of things, I lost sight of what actually helped me get to those points where I was now being better, right? Or whatever. So when I got into that, I started to dwindle down. And so when I was a bartender, I was actually really strict with myself. I was like, no drinking on the job. I'm not going to after hour spots with my coworkers. Like, I'm there to work and work only, right? But even though I had that strict level, that strictness for myself actually helped me progress the way I needed to. And so whenever I got into esthetician school, and now I'm in esthetician school, I was working 2 jobs, but then I had quit the other job or whatever. And I was also working as a bartender, and I was moving out of my mom's house and stuff. It was like so many things were happening that my morning routine was just nothing. Like, I was never the type to just wake up 10 minutes before it's time to go and like just like brush my teeth, put on deodorant, and like put on whatever fit and leave. For the longest time, even from high school, I actually did not wear sweatpants. Sweatpants were not a part of my wardrobe. I only wore sweatpants for travel games. So whenever I started to wear sweatpants or not get dressed before 10 a.m. and like wasn't making sure my hair looked right or whatever the case may be, I noticed that it was really hard for me to actually feel motivated during the time, which that was a very important time to feel motivated because I was in school and I knew after school I wanted to get into the job that I wanted to get into. And I'm still, at the same time, I'm still watching all these morning routines. I've never really gotten out of the love of like watching them or whatever. And I was just always striving for it. I was like, oh, I just want to be like a 6 a.m. girly who still goes lifts and like eats the good food, has the matching set, and you know, get on with her day and stuff like that. But because like when I was actually doing those things that actually got me to that point of feeling that way, I really didn't know exactly what I was doing. It was so hard for me to get back into it. Like I mentioned in an episode before, when it comes to neuroscience, something that I really paid attention to was that a lot of things that we want to do with our life, we have to connect an emotion to it. We have to connect the emotion for our brains to actually see how it is worth it for our lives. And so because I did not know that information like I do now, it was so hard for me to just jump back in. I mean, there were so many times I kept like trying to get back to that girl who, you know, I would take a week off because of my cycle and I would just be back up at 5 a.m. and stuff like that. But I wasn't like that. I wasn't that girl anymore. It was so hard for me just to stay consistent. I'll be consistent for like 2 weeks and then it'll be done. Couple days and it'll be done. Like, I'll go and like get me like buy a whole thing of groceries, and then literally by Saturday, girl, I was at Cane's popping that root beer, getting that cane sauce. Like, I had no self-control and no discipline, right? So fast forward to this January 2026, I said, I'm done. I'm done because I am now at a point. I was taking some really tough classes to get into nursing school. If you are new here, I am going to nursing school to be an aesthetics nurse. And so I was taking my prereqs, right? And as I was taking my prereqs, like I mentioned before, when I went to college initially, I was a straight A student. So when I came back this time, I did not have the discipline that I had last time. Guess what type of student I was? Not a B student, a C student, right? And that literally blew my mind. And that told me, I said, oh, no. If I'm going to get into nursing school and do the nursing thing, oh, no. We are not playing with nobody's health. We need to make sure that we know this information and that we are actually applying ourselves, right? And so when to that January 2026, and I knew I only had was one prereq left, and I was applying to nursing school for that semester, I was like, okay, we need to figure out what the heck to do. And so I came across a video with Dr. Huberman. He is actually one of my favorite neuroscientists that I follow, that he really broke it down what the brain meant. During that video, he was explaining like how to make your brain do the hard things, because I was looking up so many videos, and I don't know about anybody else, I'm so tired of people being like, well, you just have to be so motivated for it, you just have to go get it, I don't like that, because that actually doesn't give me anything that I actually have to do, or actually give me an explanation of why my brain doesn't want to do the hard things, right? I am a reader, so I had already read Atomic Habits. I had already read like these books, like what was one of the books, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and like I've read all these books of successful people, like for business owners and stuff, like, and it would get me motivated after I read it, but it was like, it was so hard to actually stick to it until I found out what neuroscience was, and also growing your neuroplasticity, right? And so after that, he was dropping gems. He was like, okay, when you wake up, you need to go outside for within the first 30 minutes of you waking up, so you can go ahead and reset your circadian rhythm. The reason why you need to wake up right when your alarm goes off and wake up at that time every single day, it reinforces the behavior for you to go ahead and build that skill. Like, he was dropping so many things that I actually really didn't know what to do, that I actually never really knew about. So after learning from him and obviously going down a rabbit hole of my own little things that I wanted to list, that I was learning from, I said, okay, this is now the morning routine. Let's go ahead and break down my actual morning routine that hopefully will help you become more successful with your business. So first things first, whenever I wake up out of this bed, right, I do not press snooze. I have never been a person to press snooze, but I would not press snooze and still go back to sleep. I just would never like press snooze so it can bring me up again. I know, a little crazy. Okay, so so that would be the first thing. So the first thing I would do is I wouldn't press snooze, and I would just get up. Something that I was doing at the very beginning is I would actually place my cell phone in my bathroom, and I would charge it in there, and I got me a physical alarm clock, right? And I still use my physical alarm clock. I just have to be transparent with you guys. I stopped for a little bit during this time, but that's because like I explained in some earlier episodes about how much somebody literally vandalized my car, and I got really scared, and so it was hard for me not to have my phone. Now I'm getting a little bit more trust, so she might be going back into the bathroom, right? But anyways, so I would have to shut off my alarm, right? And I also made sure that the alarm wasn't too like that iPhone alarm that we all know and hate, you know, like I was making sure not to have it like that, because what it did is actually put myself in a form of panic, and that actually really stressed me out before the day even started. Even before touching my phone, if somebody could text me something to stress me out, my alarm already stressed me out. So I made sure just to do something simple as bird noises with my alarm, right? And with my alarm, it's like when it goes off, the light actually will illuminate as it's going off, which helps me wake up, right? So but the reason why I put the phone in the bathroom though is because obviously when you first wake up, you want to check your phone. But if you have to go check your phone in your bathroom, you're already up. Like, you're already up. Like, you got to get up out your bed, go all the way to the bathroom just to go see who texted you that night. crazy work, right? That's like the first thing that I do in the morning. So the next step into my routine is hygiene. So personally, me, I'm not a person who like makes my bed like immediately when I wake up. To me, it makes me decide if I want to stay in or not, if I have to decide if I have to make my bed or not. So I would rather go in the bathroom and do my hygiene stuff. Without bringing the science into it, I want to talk about why I feel like hygiene is important, and maybe there is some studies over it, but this is just what my take is. When I go into my bathroom and I look at myself, I flip on the lights. As soon as that toothbrush hits my mouth, I instantly wake up. But that also could be because my brain associates brushing my teeth with waking up for the day. If I want to sleep in on a day and I like wake up or whatever, I will go to the bathroom and wash my hands and come back and go back to sleep. Because I know if I touch that toothbrush, I am up and I'm up for the day. Right? So I always start, that's why I personally like starting with hygiene first, because it naturally wakes me up even more than just making my bed as soon as I step out of my bed. What does hygiene do for the brain though? Like, why should you be doing hygiene in the morning anyways, right? So one thing that hygiene is going to do automatically is boost your self-esteem, right? It's going to boost your self-esteem because if you look good, if you smell good, you'll do better. Like, you literally will do better. If you're over here hiding your armpits, you're not going to want to go to that extra store or go out and talk to somebody that you need to network with because you think and you actually do smell bad. It's actually going to hurt you when it's time to actually go out and talk to the people that you need to talk to, right? Because you don't want to be talking to them and your breath stink. You don't want to talk to them and you ain't got no deodorant concealing your sweats, right? Like, you don't want to do that. The next, it kind of goes in with the self-esteem. It improves your social life. If you have good hygiene, more people are going to want to be around you. People do not want to be around stinky people. And so if you're stinky, you don't have many friends that are going to be okay with you being stinky around them. Nobody wants to smell all that. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to smell all that. So we need to be doing some hygiene, we need to do a lot of hygiene so that we are making sure that we have a social life that will actually help us expand it, right? We want people, when people come up to us, we do not want them to be like, oh yeah, like I really like your work, but so-and-so said, smell good. Like, one thing as a esthetician who does lashes, right? One thing I was made sure to do was make sure my mouth was clean, my underarms, everything and stuff like that was clean, because guess what? There are so many times that I've heard clients say, yeah, she did a good job, but like her fingers didn't smell good. Her breath stank. Like, fingers and breath are like the two top things that people mention to why they left another service provider. So making sure my hands are properly washed and cleansed and sanitized before my client gets there, and also making sure that my teeth are brushed and flossed and mouthwash, all the tongue scraping, all the good things to make sure this is all good, will help me also keep business. People are explaining me to somebody else and say like, okay, I'm looking for a new person, but like I gotta make sure they have good hygiene. They're able to go ahead and give me a good reference because not only do I do a good job, but I also keep it clean, myself clean, as well as my space clean. That also ties into enhancing your professional image, right? So when we are growing a business, we want to put our best foot forward, because the saying really is true. You never know who is going to mention you, who is going to help you. And so you want to make sure your professional image is up to par. Now, I will be going into a little bit deeper about like actually making yourself look presentable for your morning routine a little bit later in the episode. But as far as your personal hygiene, that is a part of your professional image. Also, with having your hygiene completed in the morning, that also helps promote good mental health. I'm telling you, if you look bad, you smell bad, you're gonna be doing bad. Like, it all goes in line. But if you look good, you smell good, you're going to do better. All of that ties into the same thing. Hygiene is more than just doing it just because you want to appease other people. It's also for your own health. Not even just mental health, but your overall health as well. Do your hygiene. If you're not brushing your teeth, if you're not washing your face, if you're not making sure you have deodorant and you have a good cologne or a good perfume to put on, I'm telling you, you are hurting yourself when it comes to growing your business. The next thing with having a good morning routine, that goes into tying in some of the neuroscience to help you build your business, is to have your clothes set out the night before. Basically, so what I like to do is whenever I'm going to go work out, which we'll get into movement a little bit later, is I like to have my workout clothes on my bathroom counter. This one helps me. This helps signal to my brain like, okay, let's go ahead and put on these clothes because I'm going to go work out, right? It's setting intention. So something I want you guys to really understand is that our brains can be really lazy if we let it, right? If we have to train our brain to want to do the hard things, right? And so when training them to do the hard things, we have to put things in place to help us know that we are going to be leveling up, right? So with us knowing how to take care of business, we have to make sure that we are putting signals around our homes, around our rooms, to help our brains know like, okay, we're gonna put this on, so all right, let's go ahead and go into this next activity. Let's get this done and let's get that done. But we have to put things in place to make our brains move, because if not, our brains will not move. Our brains will be like, okay, we brush our teeth and wash our face, let's go ahead and go back to bed. Not gonna help us very much. So even if for you it might be better for when you first get out of bed, before you even do your hygiene, is to put on your workout clothes. Now to one that I know a lot of people have heard about, so I'm going to reiterate it because that's how important it is, and that is to make your bed every single morning, right? And so the reason being, you guys probably have not heard this before, but I will say it again just for my people who may not have heard it before. Making your bed actually helps you set better intentions for your day because you completed the first task. And so a good saying that I like to tell myself is, if I can win the first hour of my day, I can win the rest of the hours of the day, the next 24 hours of my day. It just keeps on building. I was reading a study from Susan B. Chapman off of Psychology Today, and she was talking about why making your bed can become more successful than other people and are more aligned to becoming millionaires and billionaires than people who do not. The reason being is because it's a part of a routine. It also helps, like I just mentioned before, set the intention for the day, right? So something as mundane as making sure our beds are made really helps us be successful to do the harder tasks for the day, right? If you're about to have a whole bunch of meetings, or I won't even say meetings, if you're in that part of your business where you're still working another job and you are also doing your business on the side, you need to be as organized as you can for both of them so that you know what's going on within your business and within your livelihood. And the best way to do that is make sure that your environment is organized and uncluttered. I will tell you firsthand, whenever I let my room go, right, or my bathroom go or whatever, I really do struggle, and those are probably one of my worst weeks, is because my brain is so overwhelmed by the environment that it cannot think straight and it cannot get things done. Like, the amount I can get done with 10 times more in a week whenever my room is clean. Everything is washed, nothing is cluttered, rather than a week where maybe I don't make my bed, or I let the clothes be all over the floor or something like that, where I don't put things back, and I'm literally struggling because there's literally physical clutter that I can see that's literally stopping my brain from jumping over to what it needs to do. So again, I like to reiterate, when it comes to our brains, we really got to train it to do what we want it to do. And how we do that is we have to set our brains up for success. So how do you expect to run a 6-figure company if you can't even do a simple thing of making sure your room is clean? So the book, William H. McRaven, his book, which is called Make Your Bed, The Little Things Can Either Change Your Life or maybe the world. So he explains in there why making your bed is so important. Like, he was a Navy SEAL, and he was talking about like the structure of it. The structure of it really helps build up that confidence to continue doing task after task after task to get your day started. The whole point of a morning routine is to get your day up and moving. If you have no routine, you have nothing that you are doing, you have nothing to align for your day to be successful, it will not be successful. chemical. Also, if you want to go more scientific about why you should be making your brain, is because I also learned from Dr. Amen from the Mel Robbins podcast, is that when you make your brain, you're actually doing a little dip of dopamine, and dopamine is our feel-good chemical in our brain. And having that feel-good chemical actually keeps you motivated for the rest of the day to continue doing so, because we want to continue feeling that good thing. Because when we make our beds, we feel more accomplished, we feel encouraged, we have pride. Like, okay, like, look at my bed, like, actually look at the whole room. The room is giving. The room is so cute. And the reason why, and so why that is so important and why that's like actually really helps us, is because like we need to continue encouraging ourselves. So our brain's like, okay, like, yeah, making our bed was like, I really didn't want to do that, but like, look how I feel. So when you go into your work day and you're like, okay, like, you know, I really didn't feel that good about the video I'm about to post for marketing, but like, hey, I did it. Like, I did it though. So it's so cool. Like, you know, it helps keep building that encouragement throughout the day for you to get stuff done. I already know where I was gonna go next, which is to movement, y'all, movement. So before I get into having a workout routine and all this, that, and the third, I'm a big fan of starting small and building to bigger, right? I want to tell you exactly what even 10 minutes of walking, as far as your movement of the day, does for you, right? If you're listening to this podcast, I'm looking down at my notes right now. So 10 minutes of walking actually gives an immediate boost to your brain. So let's see how long that lasts from just 10 minutes of walking in the morning. For mood and anxiety, it's 30 minutes to 2 hours, right? Focus and creativity, an hour to 2 hours. Memory and learning, up to 24 hours from 10 minutes of walking. So when it comes to the movement and like when it comes to working out in the morning, it's more than trying to get that dream for physique, right? It's more than trying to do the aesthetic video and just like showing that you're better than other people. But honestly, when you wake up in the morning, you go to the gym, you do feel like you're better than other people. I'm just saying. But it's actually, the reason why we should move in the morning is because movement in the morning helps prepare our body for the battle of the day, right? Strengthening our body helps us for powering ourselves up for what the day might bring to us, right? So let me just run down even today, right? Even today. So woke up this morning, got dressed, did all the stuff that I just said in that book, did everything I just been saying in this episode, and then I went on a 20-minute run, right? After that 20-minute run, I come back, I make myself breakfast, make myself lunch, get ready, get dressed for my work day, go to work, right? Still, usually if I feel very low vibrational, I would have just stayed at work until my next client. But no, I had a good solid 2.5 hours. So I came back home, planned out this video to what I have been thinking in my head, right? Made one of my promo videos for it. Then I'm making this video, and then I'm about to hop back in my car and go back to work, right? So because I worked out and I'm boosting my creativity, for one, I'm boosting my mood, also suppressing my anxiety too. So I have dealt with anxiety a lot throughout my life. And I'm going to be honest, like I was on anxiety medication for probably like a month, right? And it did help me a lot. They didn't have it ready when I went to go get a refill for all my medications, right? And so I haven't had it. The crazy part is I have the same amount of work being done even when I was on the medication than I was off. In my opinion, the reason is because I'm lessening my anxiety by making sure to move my body at like first thing in the morning. Able to push through like the fear of the not knowing, because I was able to lessen it by moving my body in the morning, right? And when moving your body in the morning, you do not need a long time. Everybody has 30-45 minutes in one day. You have it in your day. You just have to know that during this time, I am not on my phone during my morning routine. I've noticed from the times that I fell off the wagon, even from this year, me being on my phone during the morning routine hurts my rest of my day. It hurts my rest of my day because it takes away my attention that needs to be for me to mentally prepare for the day. I don't even have Instagram on my phone or TikTok on my phone. I keep it on my iPad, right? So like I don't have those things there, so it actually helps me not be on it or like feel triggered to do it. And that has trained my brain to not look for that in the morning, instead to just get what I need done so I can get out the house, so I can get my workout in. Because once I have my workout in, pretty much everything else in my day just kind of gets the ball rolling. And movement helps you move throughout the rest of the day. So if that helps you at all, the movement helps you move throughout the rest of your day and keep you mentally strong for the rest of your day. The next thing I'm going to talk about is actually getting dressed for the day. Okay, this was something that I was doing, like I mentioned before, that I did not know was actually so beneficial for me as far as having my confidence to actually put on and grow my business to where it is today, right? And I am a fully booked esthetician. Getting to be full-time and being fully booked took a lot of work, and I did not know how much getting dressed up for the day actually aligned with that. Getting dressed for the day mentally tells your brain you're ready. You're ready to become the person that you want to be. That person who is on the vision board. If you're listening right now, I'm pointing at my vision board that I have in the back of my room. Like, it helps me actually become that girl that I initially wanted to be whenever the year had started, right? So how you show up contributes to how you will perform. I don't really see a lot of CEOs, women or men, who just wear sweats. Now, do they wear the same type of outfits? Yes, like maybe like a t-shirt and jeans, but I don't really see them wearing pajamas to work. I don't see them doing that. And from looking at that, I'm like, putting yourself together. If you look good, you feel good, you do good, right? Putting on a nice outfit that flatters your body shape, that is comfortable for you, helps you to continue to be confident through what you are doing to sell that product, or to get people to get that service, and or to actually post consistently on your platforms for your business. Like, what the way you show up really does matter for you to get further on in your career and in your business. Okay, so for instance, this is my routine when it comes to getting dressed. So when I come back from the gym, I shower, right? I shower, be done, whatever. I come out and I always pick like an outfit. So I went back to my old thing, which is going on Pinterest and looking up a vibe. That's just my thing. I love doing that. So I'll actually go ahead and unarchive a video of how I use Pinterest to see what I was going to be wearing that day, because I still use that method to this day. But anyways, I go and I see the vibe, right? I already know what's in my closet. I see the vibe. I go ahead and I put that outfit on. Putting on an outfit does not take a lot of time, y'all. It really does not take a lot of time, right? And then the next thing I do is I do go in for my jewelry. So right now, my favorite thing is gold, which is so crazy because I was just a silver girly, but I switched back and forth. So I'm a gold girly now. So right now, watches are my favorite thing. So having a watch on, having a couple bracelets, and I just have usually like my 2 rings on my thumbs, and I'm showing that on my YouTube. And then a nice, cute, simple necklace, nothing crazy, and then earrings for my ladies, earrings, right? I came up with a very quick morning makeup routine that gets me up and out of the door, but it also helps me look presentable. The makeup thing is kind of new. I've been doing it for over a week now. Before I was putting on makeup, but it would just maybe be like once or twice a week, but now it's like every day. It doesn't matter. I'm putting on makeup. And what it did for me is it helped me, one, not want to get back into bed, but it also triggered in my brain, like, you put on all of this and you're not going to get stuff done. You're not going to get stuff done and you just put all of this crap on. Girl, if you don't get to work. And so putting on an outfit signaled to my brain that, like, okay, she needs to get all this stuff done on her to-do list, because, like, why would she waste a fit? Like, why would she not want to go get seen in public? Because she looks good. You know, she looks good. Her hair's good. Her makeup's good. Her outfit's good. Like, and I think something I was getting tripped up on, so maybe somebody else could relate, is I was thinking that I had to have the bust down, my lashes had to be on point, which lashes do have to be on point, but anyways, but like little stuff like that, like I just felt like I had to come off as like social media baddie model looking, and that's not the case. Like right now, if you are listening, I have 2-strand twist in, right, and I just like clipped them up in a really cute little hairstyle, whatever. This is just my natural hair, no hair is included into this hairstyle, and it's so crazy because it looks nice. It still looks nice. It still makes me look like I put myself together. You can see, like other people and myself can see, I put effort into my hair, even though this isn't like quote unquote like the signature look that I want to give, because like, you know, I'm just protecting my hair. So I'm still capitalizing on different goals of myself, but still sticking with, like, you know, making myself look professional at the same time. After that, I'm up and I'm out the door, and that's basically my morning routine. So I want to end off, before I end off this episode, I really wanted to talk about some things that I will actually be adding in that I have learned recently that connected neuroscience to other things that I need to do within my morning routine, because at the same time I don't want to add too many things, because we don't want to make it too complex, because simplicity actually really helps us with our brains and actually getting a good routine going. I was watching again another episode from Mel Robbins, and she was interviewing Dr. Suzuki, and she was breaking down like different parts of the brain and like why it's important to like get better brain health. And so one of the things she was talking about was like when she gets in the shower in the morning, she will actually turn the water cold. And I've heard this multiple times, but the way she explained it actually helped me connect, like, okay, the reason why you do that is because it actually gives you like a boost of energy and a boost of endorphins to get you up and motivated and ready for the day. So I do want to try that one out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope I gave you guys some really good tips on why you need to reframe your morning routine and why it's so important to have structure and to have a routine. A lot of things that we learned when we were little really does help us in our adulthood, but because we got something called free will, we've forgotten a lot of stuff that actually were put in place to help us be more structured and to set us up for success. So I hope I reiterated some of those and got your brain tingling and help you actually go ahead and start your morning routine tomorrow. So yeah, please let me know how you felt about the episode in the comments, or if you like to DM me and have any other questions, feel free to DM me on Poised in Progress Instagram. I will have it in the show notes. I'm still trying to start a TikTok, but y'all, I don't know why TikTok for me is like so, I think it's because I post so much on it for my other business. It's so hard for me with this one, but I know I need to get on TikTok, because TikTok is honestly where it's at, okay? And I know that to be true even for my own business. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good week. Bye.